Hi, my name is Sophie Meisaros, and I work with Open and Just Smart Cities, also known as OASC, as a project manager. There, I help with the coordination of the preparatory action data spaces for smart and sustainable cities and communities, DS4SSEC. Why should we talk about data spaces? We have data in different shape and form, collected and stored according to domain-specific requirements and agreements. A data space offers an infrastructure where, based on common agreements, we can exchange data. Once we have all this data, we can actually leverage on all of this available information and feed it to data-driven innovations, specifically, for example, a digital twin. Why should we talk about data spaces in the context of cities and communities? Cities, communities, localities, and regions are in a good position to be an enabler of the data economy. By being able to access data across domains, across sectors, they can actually support decision-making to ultimately benefit citizens' lives. However, this domain comes with its own challenges. Cities and communities usually work in silos, data is not portable, there's a lack of interoperability, there's no business incentive, so on and so forth. For this reason, we introduced data spaces, or rather, it is in line with the European digital strategy that we introduce data spaces to overcome these challenges and to ultimately offer data from different domains to then be fed to data-driven innovations. A specific example of a use case could be, for example, combining the reservations of a hotel with the number of airport passengers to then optimize mobility. What are we doing about the data space in the context of smart and sustainable cities and communities? The DS4CCC is currently in its preparatory phase, which means that we were given 12 months to create a blueprint, which includes a multi-stakeholder governance scheme, a catalog of specifications, a reference architecture, accompanied by an action plan for deployment, and capacity building expertise. This preparatory action phase will come to its end by the end of September 2023. All of our work is centered around the Stakeholder Forum. The Stakeholder Forum is a group of individuals from different domains with different expertise. We actually iterate with these experts to make sure that in the end, we create a blueprint that caters to the needs of all European stakeholders. The way we organize the Stakeholder Forum is similar to the one in the Living in the EU movement. As such, we have representatives from both the supply and demand side, and we also aim to stimulate collaboration across these two. The different activities we do involve surveys, interviews, workshops, and we also created an expression of interest form to raise awareness and actually invite those who have a data space on their digital agenda. During this past year, in an attempt to identify best practices and good experiences when it comes to data sharing, we asked questions such as, what are the costs involved? Who are your key partners? What are your main challenges? How does the DS4SCCC fit into the digital European landscape? In line with the European digital strategy, the DS4SCCC was launched as a domain-specific data space alongside with other domain-specific data spaces. All these data spaces are actually supported by the Data Space Support Center. As such, we are linked to each other, and we ensure that we move ahead in a harmonized manner to ensure interoperability. We are also linked to the Living in the EU movement, which is a movement established for stimulating digital transformation across communities. Specifically, we leverage on the technical subgroup of the Living in the EU, where we can bring the technical aspects of a data space, to iterate upon it with communities and ensure that we can actually provide technical building blocks that are relevant. In doing so, we are leveraging on the MIMS Plus, which is the minimal interoperability mechanisms. We integrate those into the technical building blocks of the data space. Finally, we also respond to the Sitcom AI project, which was launched in 2023 January. This is a testing and experimentation facility to ensure safe development for AI-driven innovations. This project will also build on the blueprint of this data space. What are the tangible results of the DS4SSSC? We advise that you mainly consult our website for our deliverables, or narrative documents, for interactive catalogs. You will also be able to find a white paper which will classify all our findings in a comprehensive manner. We'll also provide capacity building, and you should also be able to access our newsletter retroactively. And what's next? By the end of September 2023, we will conclude the works on the blueprint and the action plan for deployment. This preparatory phase will be followed by the deployment action, which will have 3 years to realize and elaborate upon the blueprint developed in this previous phase. The expected date for launching an actual call for cities and communities to become sites of piloting and thereby help the realization of a data space for smart and sustainable cities and communities is to be in January 2024.